we have some questions by Arjun. He says, "Oh Krishna, who is the eternal being or the spirit? What is the nature of the eternal being? What is karma? Who are the mortal beings? Who are divine beings? Who is the all-pervading supreme being? And how does he dwell in the body? How can you, the supreme being, be remembered at the time of death by those who have control over their minds, O Krishna?" Because in the last chapter, Lord Krishna said, at the end of this life, if somebody remembers me, they'll come to me. So he says, how can we do that? So these are the questions by Arjuna. So Lord Krishna, he says, the eternal and immutable spirit of the supreme being is called eternal being or the spirit, okay, or the soul. So that means the soul is eternal. It does not get destroyed. Basic nature, powers, and expansions of eternal being are called adhyatma or the nature of the eternal being. See, adhyatma word, because this original text is in Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit, Arjun was asking, what is adhyatma? So he says, this is what that is. The creative power or urge of eternal being that causes manifestation of living entities is called karma. So that means all this creation, how the cells grow, how the trees grow, where does everything comes from? The creativity is called karma. Mortal beings made up of the 5 basic elements are changeable or temporal. So the eternal being or the Atma, the spirit, is that doesn't change, that does not get destroyed. But the 5 basic elements with which this body is made up of, or any other body is made up of, that is changeable and temporal. Temporal means it's temporary. Various expansions of the supreme being are called divine beings. I, the supreme being, reside inside the physical bodies as the divine controller and the supreme enjoyer, which is called Ishwar, O Arjuna. One who remembers me exclusively, even while leaving the body at the time of death, attains the supreme abode. There is no doubt about it. So he said, I did say that in the last chapter, but now I'm saying it again, that there's no doubt about it. This is a very firmly he is saying that. Whatever object one remembers as one leaves the body at the end of life, that object is attained. The thought of whatever object prevails during one's lifetime, one remembers only that object at the end of life and achieves it. So wherever we have put most of our attention to throughout our life, that's what we will remember at the end of life too. So he says, then a person achieves that. Therefore, because this is the fact, he says, therefore, always remember me. If you want to come to me, remember me and do your duty. So he is not saying that sit down and just remember me only. He says, remember me and do your duty, whatever our duty is. There are several duties we have every single day. So he says, therefore, always remember me and do your duty. You shall certainly attain me if your mind and intellect are ever focused on me. By contemplating me with an unwavering mind that is disciplined by the practice of meditation, one attains the supreme being or Arjun. So just he said it that remember me, that doesn't mean we'll remember him all the time. For that we need to practice. And practice, he says, is meditation. And that is the meditation he talked about in chapter 6. So first we try to meditate morning, evening, or maybe in the afternoon. Then we try to meditate more. And meditate is what? Thinking about God. That's what meditation is. We are constantly thinking, but we are thinking about the world or the result. What will we get out of it? He says, remember me. Okay? So by contemplating me with an unwavering mind that is disciplined by the practice of meditation, one attains the Supreme Being, O Arjun. Now we are on page number 149. On the top, he says, one who meditates at the time of death with steadfast mind and devotion on the Supreme Being. And what is a devotion? Devotion is a love for God. Not be afraid of God, but love for God. One who meditates at the time of death with steadfast mind and devotion on the Supreme Being as the omniscient, the oldest, the controller, smaller than the smallest and the bigger than the biggest. See, everything is inside God. And God is inside everything. So if God is inside everything, that means God has to be a small also. If everything is inside God, God has to be big also. So it's a contradiction, but that's what it is. The oldest, the controller, smaller than the smallest and the bigger than the biggest, the sustainer of everything, the inconceivable. See, which is our faculty which conceives? It is the mind. And a mind is limited. So that's why he said, mind cannot conceive God. It's inconceivable. Self-luminous like the sun. That means God's radiance is not borrowed by somebody else. It's a self-luminous and transcendental or beyond the material reality by causing the breath to enter between the eyebrows by the power of yogic practice attains me, the Supreme Being. So that's why this meditation, concentration, bringing this body in our control, this prana in our control, it's not the only the at the end we'll do it. We got to practice it every single day. Meditation also, pranayama also. Remembering that who is the controller of all this? Who is the owner of all this? Only then we will be able to leave this body the way he is telling us to live and to go to him. Now I shall briefly explain the process to attain the supreme abode that the knowers of the Veda call immutable, into which the ascetics freed from attachment enter, and desiring which people lead a life of celibacy. So all these, whether people study the Vedas or whether people practice austerities or whether people practice celibacy. What is a celibacy? According to the yogic discipline, celibacy is where we control our senses, all our senses. Ordinarily, people think that celibacy means don't get married and don't have any relationships. No. Lord Krishna himself, he was married, he had children. Control over all our senses, all our organs. That is called as celibacy. Okay? So he says, live a life like that. When one leaves the physical body, by controlling all the senses, focusing the mind on God, and the bio impulses, that is like a prana, in the cerebrum, engaged in yogic practice, meditating on me, uttering Om, the sacred monosyllable cosmic sound power of the spirit, one attains the supreme abode. Okay, so this is like a practice we do on a daily basis. It's not, so right now he's talking about when we leave the body, but we can leave the body like this only if we have practiced this enough. So it should be a daily practice, having a control over the body, control over the prana also. remembering God, uttering Om, and then going to Him. Then he says, I am easily available, because some people say it's so difficult. People say it's so difficult to do yoga, so difficult to do pranayama, so difficult to do meditation. But Lord Krishna says it's easily attainable. Anything we practice enough, it becomes easy. So that's why all our life we need to practice this. I am easily available, O Arjun, by that ever steadfast devotee who regularly remembers me till death and whose mind does not go elsewhere. So it's a training of our mind for the rest of our life. After attaining me, why do we want to attain Godhood? He says, after attaining me, the great souls do not incur rebirth in this miserable, transitory world because they have attained the highest perfection. So in other words, this is the goal for all of us. This is the ultimate purpose. See, short-term goals, we have many. They keep on changing throughout our lifetime. But the ultimate purpose is to become perfect like God. He says, when you do that, then there's no coming and going back into this miserable world. Because there are miseries in this world, no matter what you say. No matter how healthy and happy and rich a person is, there's a misery. There was a misery in taking birth. We went through a lot of pain. Not just our mother, we did too. Growth was painful. As we are approaching the old age, there are more pains and aches. And in between also there are a lot of ups and downs. And they say death is definitely very painful. The scriptures, they talk about death. It's almost like thousands of scorpions attacking you at the same time. Unless we have detached from this body and we have connected with the God, then it's not miserable. So that's why we need to practice it now. Okay. So after attaining me, the great souls do not incur rebirth in this miserable transitory world because they have attained the highest perfection. The dwellers of all the worlds, up to and including the world of the Creator, which is called Brahma. Last time we talked about Brahma and Brahma. Brahma is that absolute reality, truth, God, that's Brahma. Brahma is the power of that Brahma which creates. So up to and including the world of the Creator Brahma are subject to the miseries of repeated birth and death. But after attaining me, O Arjun, one does not take birth again. Those who know that the duration of creation lasts 4.32 billion years and that the duration of destruction also lasts 4.32 billion years. So there's a cycle which when it's creating and created, it is that long. It's almost like a day when the creation is happening, and then there's a night, everything has dissolved back into the unmanifest. That is equally long. So just like if there's a 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, over here, 4.32 billion years of creation, and the duration of destruction also lasts that long. Okay, in Hindi it's called Pralay. They are the knowers of the cycles of creation and destructions. And you can read about it in the explanation he has given, this author. This is from the other Vedic scriptures also. Okay. All manifestations come out of the subtle body of Brahma during the creative cycle. So where everything has come from? So what is the material cause of all this creation? That's God. And then it goes back to. So it's like a manifestation happens, then unmanifestation. So all manifestations come out of the subtle body of Brahma during the creative cycle, and they merge into the same during the destructive cycle. The same multitude of beings comes into existence again and again at the arrival of the creative cycle and are annihilated inevitably at the arrival of the destructive cycle. It's almost like a manifested, whatever is manifested, it goes into the unmanifested, then up again. It's almost like during the daytime, we did something, we go to sleep, when we wake up, again we got to deal with the same situation. So it's not that when the manifestation has ended, the destruction cycle is there, or the night is there, then all our karmas go away. When the manifestation happen again, then all those impressions, all those sanskaras, they arise again in us. Okay. So because some people think that no, when we die, we start with a new slate. No, not with a new slate. Whatever we have written in the slate, we come back with that slate again. We don't see it, but it erupts again. Okay. So it's like that. That is the cycle of the karmas. There is another eternal transcendental existence higher than the changeable material nature called eternal being or spirit that does not perish when all created beings perish. This is also called the supreme abode. Those who attain the supreme abode do not take birth again. So this is called the freedom, ultimate freedom, or the moksha, or the nirvana, that we have dissolved everything. This supreme abode, O Arjun, is attainable by unswerving devotion to me. Okay, I always tell you, unswerving devotion means loving God only. Okay, just so one-pointed relationship, just want to merge with God. That's an unswerving devotion, within which all beings exist and by which the entire universe is pervaded. See, just like I was saying that everything is in God and God is in everything too. O Arjun, now I shall describe different paths, departing by which after death the yogis do or do not come back to the mortal or temporal world. So he talks about two different paths. One path, if we follow, we don't come back. We have attained that ultimate goal, the highest. The other path, we do come back because we haven't finished our journey yet. Passing gradually after death through celestial controllers of fire, light, daytime, the bright lunar fortnight, and the 6 months of the northern solstice of the sun, yogis who know the self attain supreme abode and do not come back to earth. So this is like anybody who is walking on the path of vertical. So don't take it literally that if a person dies during the daytime or the bright lunar fortnight. No, these are philosophical terms. That really means where your consciousness is. Is your consciousness moving up or not? In the other yogic scriptures, they talk about this chakras. So if our understanding or our connection is with the higher chakras, see, like a heart chakra means love. Throat chakra, only the soul. The Agya chakra, only the God. The Sahasrara chakra, only the Guru. If our attention is only these upper chakras, we'll definitely go to the higher place and will not come back. But if our attention is, we are yogis, but we are still connected with the lower chakras, like a navel chakra, the power. Below navel chakra, in that pelvic area, attachment to the worldly things, our offsprings, or even the base chakra, the Mooladhara, then we'll definitely come back. We are yogis, we are practicing, but we are still at the lower levels. So this is what it really means. So have we practiced enough? to reach to the higher spheres or not? Do we have enough detachment, enough vairagya from the world or not? Okay, so do not take, there are a lot of verses in Bhagavad Gita. If we study them only literally, we get lost. But we got to study them philosophically and see the deeper implication of these verses. So this verse tells us a yogi who will not come back again because consciousness has been raised to the higher chakras. Now, look at in contrast to this, the next verse. Passing gradually after death through celestial controllers of smoke, night, the dark lunar force night, and the 6 months of southern solstice of the sun, the righteous person. So this person is also practicing, attains heaven and comes back to earth again. So did good karmas definitely, but still attached to the results. We'll go to the places, we'll enjoy the outcome of those good karmas, but then we'll have to come back again. So choice is ours. God has always given us this freedom, whether we want to go, keep on going upward or go up to only certain place and then come back again. Then he says the path of the light of spiritual practice and self-knowledge and the path of darkness of materialism and ignorance are thought to be the worlds of two eternal paths. So they both are eternal in the sense they are pretty long. It might take countless lives. In that sense, he says eternal. The former leads to salvation and the latter leads to rebirth as human beings. Knowing these two paths, O Arjun, a yogic practitioner is not bewildered at all, because this is the flow chart. This is the knowledge which we should have. But ultimately, having the knowledge is not enough. We got to walk on this path. So that's why he says, knowing these two paths, O Arjun, a yogic practitioner is not bewildered at all. Therefore, one should be resolute in attaining salvation, the goal of human birth at all times. So a lot of time people ask me, where is it written in Bhagavad Gita that goal is salvation? Very clearly it's written at several places, but you can mark it down right over here. Verse number 27 in chapter number 8. Okay, one should be resolute. We always make the resolutions, but most of our resolutions are only about how much weight I'm going to lose. Okay, or I'm going to go there and have that. Those are the resolutions. Over here, he says, one should be resolute in attaining salvation. That I have come into a beautiful human body. This time around, I want to move up towards my ultimate goal. The goal of a human birth. This is the goal only for human beings. Animals cannot make this resolution. The divine beings also don't make this resolution. It's only for, that's how precious this human birth is. And if we waste another human birth, who will call us smart human beings? Okay, not Lord Krishna. Then last verse he says, one who knows all the knowledge goes beyond getting the benefits of the study of the Vedas, performance of sacrifices, austerities, and charities, and attains salvation. So in other words, these are all the means. Study is a mean. Goal is not just to read. Goal is to attain that moksha. So he says, study of the Vedas, performance of sacrifices. What is a sacrifice? Sacrifice is doing a deed for the good of others. That's a sacrifice. You are sacrificing your time, your energies for the benefit of others. Austerities. Austerity means going through a certain tough time to improve yourself. Austerity. And charity is when we help others, give others. And he says all of those are good means, but they are not the goals themselves. Goal is only to attain. And he says one who knows all the knowledge. Okay, knows over here really means practices too, not just a theoretical knowing, goes beyond getting the benefits of the means. Okay, so this is the end of this chapter. Now, this seems very difficult because something which we really cannot see. Sure, Lord Krishna says, I'm everywhere. Everything is in me. I'm in everybody. And this is the goal. But how do we really attain this goal? In next chapter, he brings this knowledge up to our level also. What is practical for us? Maybe in this one lifetime we can attain that, but whatever we attain, it will go with us. He has told that to us earlier. No practice goes wasteful. We are born with that practice. Whatever we did, God sends us to that place, that kind of a family, that kind of a parents, that kind of a circumstance, so that we start practicing from there. So, but in the next chapter, chapter 9, that is a Raj Vidya, Raj Guh Yoga. How exactly we should do this practice as our level? How should we develop more love for God? Because he does talk about devotion. Devotion to me only. How can we have love only for God? We'll talk about that in this chapter. And next chapter is a long chapter. We will try to do the whole thing next week. And yeah, that's 34 verses. So, and one thing I would suggest, you have the whole week, reread the chapter which we did, and read the next chapter also before coming to the class. So any question you have, write it down. Spend some time with study. Scriptural studies should be part of our daily routine. Whether we spend 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever time you have, but we should definitely pick up a book and read a little. The studies. Okay, there is a term in the yogic texts. They say for a householder, three things should definitely be done. And study of the scriptures is one of them. There are three: tap, swadhyay, ishwar pranidhan. Tap means control your senses. Don't live a life where you lose your senses. Senses are like our horses. Horses should be in our control. That's called a tap. Eat, but measured amount, the right time, right place, right kind for when it comes to food also, when it comes to the music also, when it comes to the going somewhere also. So every which way, through all the senses we eat, we got to be moderate. That's a tap. So adhyay is a study of the scriptures. Ishwar pranidhan is there's a higher power which is called Ishwar, God. Okay, by any name, any form, any mantra, remember God. When the times are not so good, we do remember God. But if we try to remember God when the times are good also, then it becomes our nature to remember God. Okay, so as a householder, this is not for the saints. Saints, they did this and became saint. They do a lot more than this. They do a lot more sacrifices. Because of them, we are here. Because they keep on sending the good vibes, good energy to us. There are a lot of saints sitting in the Himalayas, meditating, blessing us. Because of their blessings, we are okay here. But as householders, we got to do our part, at least these three things. Tap Swadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhan. And we're going to learn a little bit more about it in the next chapter next week. So any question?
Nishta has a question. Nishta, you can unmute.
Yes, Nishta.
Yeah, I just did. I wanted to ask you, like in verse 5, one of the things I've always liked about Hinduism is that, we always say there are many paths to Godhead. But in this one, it sort of stresses that me alone. How do you resolve that? It says me
Yeah, no,
alone.
over here, me does not mean me, Lord Krishna.
Anji.
He is talking from the one hood with the supreme hood, which is one, which is God, which is Brahma. So he's not talking about the personal form of Krishna. No, not at all. Not at all. It's like an absolute one. It could be in the form of Jesus, it could be in the form of Buddha, it could be in the form of Muhammad, or it could be in any form or formless. Okay? So he's not talking about a personal me like a Lord Krishna me. Okay? Just remember that this was written by Rishi Vyas also. Rishi Vyas is the author of it. And Lord Krishna, when he was giving this knowledge to Arjun, he was in samadhi, oneness with that absolute being. So the words are coming from Brahma himself. Okay, it's not an arrogance of one guru or one form which is being iterated over here. Okay? Yeah, but I'm glad you asked. But this is how we should read it, and this is how it's conveyed. Because it's me over here, even in this book. Did you get the book, by the way, Nishta?
Nahi, abhi tak nahi mili. I'm waiting for it. Uncle said he mailed it, but I'm not.
Hopefully you'll get it soon, maybe in a couple of days. So this me over here is with a capital letter M. Me.
Okay.
It's not a small letter. Yeah. Okay. So this me is a godhood. Okay. So he's not propagating his own name over here. He just says God. Okay. So anybody else? No? Nobody else?
Nope.
I have a question about the Sanskrit terms. So tapas means like austerity and controlling your senses. Right?
Tapa, yes. Yes.
But yesterday in the Ashtavakra Samhita class, we talked about the 3 sufferings, the Treya tapas. Is that a different word, the tap in that? So we talked about 3 sufferings.
No. Okay, no, those were a tap. That is a tap. Tap means you are suffering. You are suffering means you are miserable. Okay, those are like average human beings. Most of the human beings go through 3 levels of suffering and they are feeling miserable. Tap is you are going through the certain practices where you are improving yourself. So tapa is for improvement. Tap is you are feeling miserable. Okay. See, just like you said, you want to do the fasting. Once a week, you want to do, you are making a little resolution that you want to fast. You are fasting to become better. But there could be somebody else who doesn't get any food, is suffering. They're not becoming better. They are mentally suffering also, physically suffering and mentally suffering. How come I don't have a food? So tap is in the negative sense, tapa is in the positive sense.
So those are 2 different words then.
Definitely,
Okay.
two different words, definitely. Tapa is a practice to become better. Tap is that mortal beings go through these sufferings at the physical level, at the mental level, and at the intellectual level. Okay? Yeah, good. You're learning these Sanskrit terms. Very good, Kim.
Yeah. I mean, I have more questions about the Sanskrit terms. So when we say sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, I think, is the tamasic is that referring to tamas, like darkness? In the
Yes,
when we say
yes.
tamas,
Tamasic is like
darkness.
ignorance. It's darkness. It's laziness. It's
Okay.
carelessness.
So when we say sattvic, is that the same sat as truth? That
Sattvic, no, when we say sattvic means purity.
Yeah.
And when we say sat word is used for God. It's even beyond sattvic. Okay? So sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, those are the three qualities of this manifested world. And the sat is God, truth, ultimate. That's okay. So our effort can take us only up to sattvic. Then it beyond that is sat. Okay. So
Thank
so sattvic is definitely sattvic is good. If we are not sattvic, if our actions are not sattvic, our words are not sattvic, our thoughts are not sattvic, we can't even think about getting connected with the sat. Okay, sat really means which always is.
Oh,
In past also, in the present also, in the future also, and even beyond that also.
oh,
That is a sat. That's why God's name, one of the names, God is known by three names: Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat means the truth, absolute truth. Chit means the consciousness, it's conscious. And Anand is bliss. So these are the three names for God. You will often hear in the prayers also, in the mantras also. Okay. So, but Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, this is the play going on in this manifested world all the time. See, when you're sitting closer together, suppose two of you learning in this class, that's a very Sattvic atmosphere. This class is over and you go into your family room and Jonathan wants to watch some TV and you want to watch something else and there's only one TV and there's a little friction. I want. Rajasic. Okay. Friction is always in Rajasic. At workplace, there's a lot of Rajasikta. And what is Tamasic? When we end up saying something wrong to the other person and hurt the other person, you really don't know anything. What you want to watch, it's no good. You always do this. That's Tamasic. So same two people, three different situations. It can happen within minutes. From one to the other to the, it's very easy to go down. It takes effort to go up. Another way you can look at is you bring some fruits home. Apples sitting on the counter, fresh, beautiful, sattvic. Leave them there for a few days. They become overripe. That's a Rajasic. Leave them for a few more days. They become rotten. That's Tamasic. So we'll we'll learn more about this in the future chapters. Everything the nature, when it comes to food also, when it comes to intellect also, when it comes to our thoughts also, when it comes to our prayers also, anything in this nature can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Our charity also, we think that giving is good, but giving for our name only, that's rajasic. Giving grudgingly, putting somebody down. If somebody says, I need some help, and you just say, first you don't want to give, but then you just throw it at them, that's tamasic giving. Giving at the wrong place, wrong time, with the wrong intention, tamasic. Giving because you are supposed to give, you are supposed to share, that's sattvic. So Lord Krishna is going to give us very beautiful definitions of rajasic, tamasic, sattvic, about the tap also. Tap also can fall into these three. Studies can also fall into these three. So we'll learn more in detail in chapter 14. Okay. So, but right now this chapter he talked about, because Arjuna asked these questions. Because sometimes people say, why didn't he put that before and this later on? Because this is a high level of knowledge. Whatever Arjuna is asking, Lord Krishna is telling. Beginning of this chapter, Arjuna is the one who wanted to know what spirit is, what eternal is, what devtas are. Okay, how a person goes from this body and does not come back. He wanted to know, and Lord Krishna is telling. Okay, it's like an eagerness to learn in Arjuna's mind. And Lord Krishna, as a teacher, as a guru, is just giving that to him. Okay, so but in next chapter, definitely more practical aspect of our Bhagavad Gita will see.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, Prem or Mani, who's that?
Then.
Prem, okay.
You were mentioning about the chakras, that
Uh-huh.
if we are more into heart and throat chakras,
Mm-hmm.
higher chakras, do we actually have to go through all the chakras first to be connected with the heart and the throat? Or be connected with heart and throat and just have not gone through the first?
See, Prem, majority of the people, practitioners, when they start out, I'm saying majority of them, not everybody, but majority of them are still, they are practicing and attached to this worldly life. So it's good to start from the bottom and go up. But there are some people spontaneously, they can get to this higher chakras because they have already done the practice in the previous lives.
I see.
So there's no hard and fast rule. You got to look at it spontaneously. Where do you go? Some people can go into samadhi right away. That means they came here after practicing during several lifetimes. There are some, see, just like Ashtavakra Gita we are studying, that Rishi Ashtavakra, before he was born, he was connected with God.
At such a young age.
So he did not have to practice from the bottom up. But majority of the people need to practice from bottom up, because we can see that where we are attached, where our attention is, where our inclination is.
So that means wherever you are attached and your inclination is, you kind of overcome that and then go to the next chakra.
Exactly. You got to work on it. You got to use this. See, this is the resolution is. You become resolute. You practice every single day, and you are more and more aware of it, even when you're not practicing. What kind of a movies you watch, what kind of a TV you see, what kind of a music you listen to, what kind of a foods you eat, those are also a part of practices.
I see.
Right? So then you will see that automatically you'll be drawn towards your heart center.
I see.
You'll feel more heart center. Really, what does it really mean, heart center? You're more compassionate, you're more caring, you're more giving.
So you
right?
can actually
You feel other people's pain. You don't mind going out of your way to help somebody, whether it's an injured bird, or you see a cat or a dog left outside without food, giving water to some plant is wilting, and you go out of your way to water that plant. Or you see the garbage outside in the store, also you pick it up.
So by having good practices, you can actually push yourself into the next.
Yes, that is the whole idea of coming into a human body. Only as a human, in a human body, we practice to become better. But if we don't practice, what will happen? Automatically, we'll go down towards the animal nature. Okay? So we should, and this is the only thing we are here to do actually, to become better. But some people are already there. They really don't need to start from bottom up.
Thank you.
They can just sit and go. See, just like I see that young girl, Sonal, 6 years old, the way she sings those bhajan, the way she has remembered those, it's not accidental. She has done some practices in the past. And I'm sure you must have seen some people in your own family also.
Yeah, do you call them, this is a mature soul, or you say,
We call it a mature soul. Actually, it's a mature personality. Soul is the same in everybody.
exactly.
That is a fact. Soul is not different. It's a personality which is more mature. I remember last year, I think, did some havan for, I mean, we got to give this kind of atmosphere to the children also. That's our duty as parents and grandparents. Last year, I did a little havan over here for Manny's son, daughter-in-law, and their kids. So, and we have 3 kids. The older one, I think she's, I don't know how old is she, 5 or 6 years old. Then they sent me a little video afterwards when they went home. That little girl in the tub giving a bath to the younger brother, and every little bowl of water she's pouring, she's saying swaha, swaha, swaha. So that means that kind of atmosphere was very conducive to her. She found it very comforting. But now it's up to the parents to bring that child again and again to that kind of atmosphere where they can say swaha, remembering God with these rituals. Okay? And I have seen in other kids also like that. That's what we are supposed to do. Do our part, and at the same time remember that we need to grow too. It's not only our children need to grow, we need to grow horizontally. We are already going, but we got to do it vertically also. See, horizontal growth is where we are in material world, we are progressing, we are making more money, buying a bigger house, doing this, doing that. But vertical growth is this spiritual growth, and that's why this our spine, these chakras, vertically up. Okay, so not just a name and the fame like a navel chakra, which is called a Manipur chakra, controlling others. I want to become a better boss. I want to have power over other people. No, I want to have a compassion for other people. I want to feel other people's pain. I want to go out of my way to help others. And then ultimately, when we do that, then we see that I am the soul and so is everybody else. There's no difference between me and the dog. Body is different, but the soul is the same. Then remembering, yeah, God is everywhere. Then connecting to the highest. Okay, so these are like a progressive path for all of us, and it feels right, but effort we need to make. Okay, anybody else?
Raj Mehta.
Yes, Raj.
Hi, Harshji. Sorry, I'm hiding today.
It's okay. It's okay. It's nice to hear your voice.
I'm still traveling, so this was the
okay.
only corner I could find quiet.
No problem. This shows your interest and the relationship with us, that you cannot stay away from us.
So thank you. So Harshji, chakras, now I was trying to understand what they mean. Some of them you mentioned. How many chakras are there, like going from Mool chakra up? And if you can please tell what they mean.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is this next Wednesday, see, we talk more about these things in our Wednesday class.
Okay.
So next Wednesday, I told everybody, there were a few people, they wanted to know about the Panchkosh, the 5 layers of our personality. I'm going to talk about that. And we are going to meditate based upon the knowledge which we're going to get from the Panchkosh. So maybe Wednesday after that, I can talk about the chakras, and we can meditate with the help of the chakras. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
But to answer your question right now, how many chakras? There are several chakras, but the main chakras are 6 chakras. Chakra means a wheel. 6 chakras means there's a base chakra, which is called a Muladhara chakra. Then there is a, in the pelvic area, Swadhisthana chakra. Then little above that, yeah, Kim is showing that. So then there is a navel chakra, Manipur chakra. Okay, then Anahat chakra in the heart center. Then Vishuddha chakra in the throat center. Then Agya chakra right over here. So these are the 6 chakras. Then this is not called a chakra. The 7th one is called a Sahasrara. It's like a thousands petaled. It's like a aura above us. It's a protection on us. Okay. So we'll talk all that. I'll give you the detail. I'll give you the colors. I'll give you the mantras. I'll give you the names. And hopefully I can send you the information about it ahead of time. Maybe Jyoti, we can put it to something in the email so people have.
Yeah, we can put we can put it in the.
Yeah, in fact, for next Wednesday's class also, I would like to write up something and send it to you or Manny, and then you guys can send the email. Because it's good to have, everybody cannot write that fast. I speak too fast. That's my problem. But I want you to learn it, and then ultimately practice you got to do. All I can do is, as a teacher, just give you information. Practice we got to do.
We'll send it as an attachment, so it stays on their computer as well as they can print it out. So
yeah, we'll do that. I'll send you guys some information. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
So good question, Raj. I think, we talk about chakras. Chakras in Gita, in other scriptures also we talk about it. So we should have this general knowledge.
Yes.
About the chakras also, but the koshas also, about Antakarna also. So this is like a vocabulary for a yoga student. So if the vocabulary is there, then practice can happen. Otherwise, our mind just gets disturbed. Then is it right? It's not right. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any question? Yes, Raj.
I think this handout has a lot of information on it.
Yes. That is like a yoga on one sheet. That's why it says, what does it say, the title?
Complete Yoga at a Glance.
Yeah, Complete Yoga at a Glance. Yeah, this week, I remember creating it when I was with my Guruji in India. And then we just, both of us sat down and made that chart. Because they already had a Hindi chart in India, but I wanted to have English chart for students in this country. So that chart is from there. Yeah, Complete Yoga, and that's what our syllabus is at this ashram. See, every organization, every school, they got syllabus. So this is our syllabus. Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga. And in Hatha Yoga, what to do, and in Raj Yoga, what to do. And ultimately, after learning, we practice, okay? So you guys can have, good, Kim, you are a good student. You keep all the notes and you are alert about it. No wonder you have done PhD, my God. Yes, bright mind. But now you want to excel on this path of spirituality. So it's very good, proud of you.
Thank you.
So anybody else, any question? No? So always nice to have you guys in the classes, always. It's a pleasure.
Time for Kirtan?
Yeah, just a little bit Kirtan. Is Manny there? Or is he gone? Manny, are you there? Or
Manny's there, Manny's here, he's there.
Okay.
Harshji, can we get a copy of what Kim was showing?
Yeah, that also we can put it
We'll
up.
put it together, yeah.
We'll put it together. You will have that also, yes. Yes, Jyoti, just make a note of it.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much.
Manny, just a short kirtan, if we can have a little name of God, any name. Okay, we all love all the names. So
Manny?
I think he's there.
Oh,
he
okay.
put himself into the unmute. So
We unmuted him, but I don't think he
Hello?
is there.
so he's not there.
Manny?
Yeah, my name is Bani.
Yes,
like
Bani.
Bonnie, like
Yes.
that. Okay, I really enjoyed today and I learned a lot. And can you send me how to send that complete yoga page? The one.
We'll send it to you. We'll send
That
it
will
to
be
you.
wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure we have your email address. We'll send it to you. And
Yes.
another thing I want you to mention, all of you will get an email tomorrow from Manny, and with one single password, which will be start using Monday morning. So from Monday onward, all the classes, weekend classes, weekdays classes, on one single ID, so that nobody gets confused, nobody loses it. So you'll have it and just log in through that.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to simplify everything, and all the classes timings are the same, 10:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, these 3 classes, Saturday and Sunday is also 10:30. So Sunday through Friday, 10:30, and Saturday 3 classes. Okay. So Manny is not there, so just let's do the mantra, and then we can end the class. Okay. So Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Thank you very much. So see you in next class, either tomorrow or next week or